Hi everyone, this is Joanna with the Los Alamos STEAM Lab, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a Sierpinski triangle or Sierpinski gasket out of paper. Sierpinski triangles are a specific type of fractal, and if you'd like to learn more about them, you can see a whole nother video that we did that goes into a little bit more depth. For this project, the only supplies that you'll need are a piece of paper and some scissors. Pretty much any piece of paper will do, but for this demonstration, I'm just using a standard piece of printer paper. The first thing that you're going to want to do is fold your paper in half, hamburger style. You want to make sure that your corners line up nice and that you make nice creases. Next, I'm going to fold it in half again, so we have quadrants. I'm going to undo that last fold. From here, I'm going to fold it hot dog style. Then I'm going to bring in these corner edges to that crease in the middle. Okay, now I'm going to unfold the last few folds, so I'm left back at this half sheet of paper. You want to make sure that the open part of the paper is facing away from you and that the folded part is facing towards you. Next, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut along this crease here to meet at this intersection in the middle. You want to stop when you get to that midpoint. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this flap that we have right here and basically just push it inside out. It's a little bit tricky, but you'll get the hang of it. So as you can see, I just pushed that flap in there, and now we have kind of a step shape. From here, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this top corner down to meet that step. Make a nice crisp crease. Then I'm going to unfold it, and then I'm going to fold this part up to make another crease. So from here, I'm basically going to be repeating that first step, but on a smaller scale. So I'm going to cut along this line until I reach this intersection, and then along this line until I reach this intersection. And make sure that the open part, the not folded side, is facing away from you. Okay, one done, and the other done. Now we're going to repeat that same pushing the paper inside out step that we just did a minute ago. So I'm going to be doing it with the second tab, which is this one right here. I'm going to push it in, make that step, and I'm going to go to this far tab over here and do the same thing. Except you'll notice that I have two tabs that I need to push in. So at this point, you should see more of a stair shape starting to form. And you can open it up and see that our Sierpinski triangle is beginning to form. So from here, you can continue to do the folding method so you get that nice cross section so you know where to cut to, or you can just kind of guesstimate. So you know that you want to be in the middle of each of these squares, or rectangles rather. So I want to be in the middle of this and then the middle of this length. So I'm just going to eyeball it, go right like that, and then move on to the next one and make another cut. And then the third step. And the last one. Okay, so now I'm going to start on this end again, and I'm going to fold this in so I get a nice crease, and it makes it easier to push that part inside out. I'm going to go along and then fold these extra flaps over to make those creases. And when you get to this short end over here, sometimes there's so many flaps that you have to fold that you can fold them up on the other side as well. Okay, so now I'm going to start back at this end and do that same thing where I push that piece inside out. Then I just go along my staircase and keep doing that same thing. This part can be a little bit awkward. And then as I finish them, I kind of like to flatten them out as I go. So here I'm doing this one now. Now this last set of tabs. And those folds that we've been doing, they should help it so when you're pushing that tab inside out, it goes a little bit easier. All right, so now you can see that our Sierpinski triangle is beginning to form even more, but we want to make it even more elaborate. So now we're gonna repeat that process again, where you find that midsection of those rectangles on every single one of these steps and make a cut to it. You can also do this by measuring out with a ruler to find that exact point, or you can just kind of eyeball it like I do. This last one can be a little tricky because it's getting thick because there's so many layers. Okay, so now I'm going to go along the line and fold, and then pop through. And then fold. Pop through. And you just keep repeating this process until you complete all those tabs. It can get a little boring, but I promise it'll be worth it. All right, and there you have it, your completed paper Sierpinski triangle. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.